Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let's talk about some of the most intriguing and potentially transformative news circulating this week that involves the Detroit Lions. And no, it's not just about their upcoming game or the usual roster chatter. This is about a possible trade that could send ripples across the NFL, especially in the NFC North. And honestly, it's the kind of move that could redefine how the Lions approach the second half of the season. So buckle up, because what we're about to discuss could be a game changer for Detroit's championship ambitions. To understand the magnitude of this potential move, we need to first look at the current situation with the New York Giants. The Giants are sitting at 0-2, which, let's be honest, for a team with playoff aspirations, is not just disappointing, it's alarming. Their schedule, as brutal as it is, doesn't offer much in terms of relief. They're about to face some heavy hitters over the next few weeks: the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles Chargers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a gauntlet, folks. And if the Giants don't find a way to turn things around quickly, they could easily be staring down 5, maybe even 6 losses by mid-October. That's a major blow to any playoff hopes. And in the NFL, when you fall that far behind early, it often signals a season that's destined for the draft and rebuild mode. And that's precisely where the trade chatter heats up. When teams see their season slipping away, they often become sellers at the trade deadline, looking to stockpile draft capital and rebuild for the future. The Giants are no different. They have some intriguing assets on their roster, players that other teams would be very interested in acquiring, especially if the Giants decide to go full rebuild mode. One name that's been floated quite a bit in recent reports, particularly by Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, is Kayvon Thibodeaux, the former 5th overall pick from Oregon. Thibodeaux, a talented pass rusher, has not quite lived up to his draft hype in terms of sack production, but he's still very much a disruptive force on the field, and his age, just 24, makes him a very attractive piece for teams looking to bolster their pass rush. Now, here's where it gets interesting for us Detroit fans. Knox's report suggests that the Lions could be a potential landing spot for Thibodeaux if the Giants decide to move on from him before the deadline. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense when you think about what Detroit needs right now. The Lions, as you all know, have one of the most promising young defensive lines in the league, anchored by Aiden Hutchinson, who's rapidly becoming a superstar in his own right. But beyond Hutchinson, the pass rush has room for improvement. Thibodeaux, while not yet a household name, has the talent and the physical tools to be a consistent threat off the edge. His addition could give Detroit that extra punch they need to turn their pass rush into one of the league's most feared units. Let's talk about the fit for a moment, because it's not just about filling a position. Thibodeaux's skill set aligns with what the Lions want on defense. He's a versatile edge rusher, capable of lining up both inside and outside, and he's still young enough to develop further under the right coaching. And considering Detroit's focus on building a formidable defense to complement their explosive offense, bringing in a player like Thibodeaux could be exactly what they need. Plus, with the potential trade value being a second-round pick in 2026, this is a move that could be very strategic for the Lions, adding talent without giving up too much, especially if the Giants are motivated to make a deal. But why would the Giants be willing to part ways with Thibodeaux? Well, as mentioned, the season's start hasn't gone as planned, and with the team's deep roster at pass rusher, they might see an opportunity to trade from strength. Brian Burns, another star pass rusher, is already on the roster, which means Thibodeaux's role could be limited, especially with Abdul Carter, their 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, pushing for more playing time. For Thibodeaux, a change of scenery might be just what he needs to unlock his full potential. Sometimes, all a player needs is a fresh start, and a team like Detroit, with its strong coaching staff and competitive edge, could be the perfect environment for him to thrive. Now, let's put this into perspective. The Lions are not just looking to make a splash, they're building a contender. They've already made significant moves to improve their defense, and adding Thibodeaux could be the next step in that process. Imagine a front line featuring Hutchinson and Thibodeaux rushing the passer. That's a nightmare for quarterbacks and a nightmare for offenses trying to sustain drives. This move, if it happens, could also send a message to the rest of the division. Detroit is serious about winning now and in the future. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential trade fits into the Lions' broader strategy of balancing their roster for both immediate impact and long-term success. They've already shown they're not afraid to make bold moves, and adding a young, talented pass rusher like Thibodeaux would be a clear signal that Detroit is all in on their championship pursuit. It also underscores their confidence in their coaching staff, especially with players like Hutchinson leading the charge. The Lions' front office has been patient and smart in building this team, and a trade for someone like Thibodeaux could be the piece that elevates them from playoff contender to legitimate Super Bowl threat. Of course, we have to remember that this is all speculation for now. Nothing has been officially announced, and the Giants might decide to hold onto Thibodeaux if they believe they can turn their season around. But the fact that his name is even being discussed in connection with Detroit speaks volumes about how much confidence the Lions have in their roster and their future. They're always looking for ways to get better, and this kind of move, a strategic, well-calculated acquisition, could be exactly what they need to push over the top. And let's not forget the importance of the draft capital. If the Lions do trade a future second-round pick in 2026 for Thibodeaux, it's a move that could pay dividends down the line, especially if Thibodeaux continues to develop and becomes a cornerstone of their pass rush. It's a win-win situation. Detroit gets a promising young player to help them immediately, and the Giants get valuable draft assets to rebuild their roster. It's the kind of strategic move that savvy front offices make, especially in a league where every game, every snap counts. So, as fans of the Detroit Lions, what does this all mean? It means that the team is actively exploring ways to improve, to get even more competitive, and to make a real push for the Super Bowl. It's exciting to think about the possibility of adding a player like Thibodeaux to an already talented defense. It's a testament to the Lions' ambition and their desire to be in the conversation with the league's elite. Keep your eyes peeled, because if this trade materializes, it could be one of the most significant moves in Detroit's recent history, setting the stage for an exciting, playoff-filled season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Thibodeaux would be a perfect fit for Detroit's defense? Or do you believe the Lions should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinions matter so much to us and to the Lions. We're all in this together, and your voice helps shape the conversation around our team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. This team is on the rise, and with moves like these, the future looks brighter than ever. Thanks for being with us, and as always, go Lions.